man? What's up? Got the mask on for safety. I'm gonna take it off real quick for the stream. What's good? What's good? We're gonna let a couple people get in the chat. We're gonna let like 50 people get in, and then we're gonna get started.
What's up, everybody?
Got my man Juan in, Pedro Schmith.
Good, y'all.
Shout out to Abu Ho. Lil Sean White, what's up, man? What's good? What's good? We got 8 people in here right now. We're gonna let about 50 people get in. We're gonna start it.
All right, cool. I just got the notification, so more people should be coming.
Yep.
Yeah, so we were just talking. We're gonna talk about breakout players today, and then honestly, everybody, there's not a lot going on right now in the football world. There's a lot other stuff going on in the regular world, but we're just gonna go off of mostly subscribers' questions and people in the chat their questions, and talk about breakout players today. So we're kind of gonna wing it today. We're only gonna be on for an hour, fellas. That's how the streams usually are. So DMV Sports Zone, what's up, man? Goody Two Shoes, what's up? Brian Harding, shout out to him. He's a channel member. Look in the link below in the description box. You can become a channel member. You get cool emojis and cool badges. Good, cool Chase Young badges. You get a Sean Taylor badge. Pretty cool stuff. Nick Drew, what's up, man? Scotty H419, what's up, man? He said, feel free, feel safe. On the Warpath, shout out to On the Warpath. He's a channel member as well. Shout out to him. We got 44 people in the chat. We're going to get to it when 50 people get on. Abu Ho, JB Hardy. Shout out more channel members. Shout out to those guys out there. Shout out to Abu Ho. Shout out to JB Hardy. Rico Proctor, what's up, man? Verndale Porter, what's going on? AM Hunter, my guy. That's my guy. What's up, man? That's my guy right there. I love his profile picture. He has a funny profile picture. He's a channel member too. Larry
What's up, Andre?
Redskins Weekly _ What's up, man? Brian Harden said, I'll super chat you anyway. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Peyton the Great, what's going on, man? All right, we got 51 people in. Let's get it started. So I want to hear what you guys think. Who's your breakout player on offense?
So, Juan, you want to go first?
I'll go first. My breakout player is gonna be Dwayne. But unless I can't pick Dwayne, then I'll go with. Let's see, that's a tough one. Probably Kelvin Harmon, because y'all know I love Kelvin Harmon. I love him more than Terry McLaurin, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate from that, but that's my guy, and I feel as though that he's really overshadowed since he wasn't given the same opportunity that Terry was from the jump. So my breakout player is Dwayne or Kelvin Harmon. I'm gonna go with Kelvin Harmon because I think we're expecting Dwayne to have a breakout season. So Kelvin Harmon for me.
So I got an honorable mention, Wes Martin. I think if he starts, he'll be a good starter. But I got another receiver, Steven Sims. He had about 350 yards, but he had 230 yards in the last 4 games of the season, and those were the only games he was targeted 5 or more times. So I think this year, if he gets around 5-6 targets a game, I think he can get 700, 750 plus yards. He's been working with Des Bryant's wide receiver coach and Antonio Brown's wide receiver coach. So I think he's going to be a lot better this year, especially on his second year with Dwayne.
Oh, yeah. I love Steve Sims, man. That's a good pick. Calvin Harmon's a good pick, too. I like both those guys. I think they have an opportunity to have a breakout year. A lot of people I'm not going to say a lot of people. Some people are thinking Darius Geis, if he can ever stay healthy. Big if for Darius Geis, if he ever can stay healthy. Mine is Steve Sims, too. Wes Martin is a good one, too. But I got Steve Sims, too, because he showed a lot at the end of the year. The Giants game, he was cooking guys. Nobody could guard him. The Cowboys game, nobody could guard him. The Lions game, the kick return was crazy. Stevenson, he has the most upside, and I think he can do everything from the slot position, from the jet sweeps. I think he's just a versatile guy. He can do it all. And people do compare him to Antonio Brown. I'm not going to jump the gun on that one, but his route running is crazy. He creates separation. He gets open really, really easy. Alex Smith is in the building. Dwayne Haskins is in the building.
Can I say this right quick? The reason why I wouldn't say Steven Sims, in my opinion, is just because I feel as though personally, I think it's like we're expecting him to. We already know Steven Sims gonna go out there and ball regardless. We know he's gonna put, I think, at least 800 to 1,000 yards. And I think more of a breakout player is more of like a underrated player too. But I mean, I guess Steven Sims, but in my opinion, I think he's gonna go out there and ball regardless. So I kept it more towards Kelvin Harmon because he's slept on in my opinion. So
yeah, I think Harmon's gonna be good. It's just gonna be tough for him to see if he starts this year over AGG, then I definitely think he can get 500 plus yards. But if he doesn't start, I think he'll start probably week 1 just because there's not like a off season or rookie mini camp and stuff, so it's gonna be hard for AGG to develop early. So I think like first couple weeks Harmon's gonna start, but then AGG might end up taking that spot, which might take some yards away from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, AGG coming in, him versus Calvin Harmon is an interesting training camp battle. Who's going to start between those two guys? So I can't wait to see that. But Steve is a shoo-in for a slot. He took the spot away. He took the spot away from Trey Quinn.
Cut him, please. Yeah. Cut
him. And I'm excited to see Steve Sims, especially we don't know what's going to happen with Cody Latimer. So if he's out of the equation, that's even more snaps for Steve Sims. I can't wait to see Steve Sims play.
Yeah.
All right, so let's bring it to the defensive side. I see some people saying Cole Holcomb and Montez Sweat. Who do you guys have on defense being breakout player for 2020?
This one's even more tough. See, the offense was tough a little bit, but this one's just even more tough because you got Holcomb, you got Sweat, Ryan Anderson, Moreland. I think it's gonna be Sweat. I'll give it to Sweat. It's just so many. Since I have to pick one, it's hard, but I'll go with Sweat only for the simple fact that he has so much, help on the defensive line. He got the Bama boys up front, Matt Ioannidis. The reason why I didn't go with Matt Ioannidis because it's like we're almost expecting him to go off this season. So, I'm going with Sweat because with us drafting Chase Young and him having all the attention, it's kind of like he's being overshadowed and people are forgetting that this guy ran a 4.41 in the combine last year. So I'm going to go with Sweat, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sweat's going to ball out 10 plus sacks. And I think, he already had 7 sacks last year. He started off really slow, but the second half of the season he went crazy. My breakout player on defense is probably Jimmy Moreland. I think he didn't start off good last year, but when the season kept on going, he kept on progressing. And then the last half of the season, he started playing decent. And I think with this thin secondary group, I think he's going to be able to play a lot more. And then another guy that I think could be good is Sean Dion Hamilton if he gets the starting spot, which is going to be tough. But if you look at his stats last year, like when he was on the field, I think he allowed like a 50% completion percentage and was a beast, but he didn't play much. But
oh yeah, good points. Shout out to AM Hunter. Like I said, his profile picture is the funniest profile picture I've seen. Thank you for the donation, man. He's a channel member as well. He says, "Keep grinding, guys. Jimmy Moreland or Fabian Moreau is his pick." Those are some good choices right there. Some debatable choices. I'll say my choice real quick. I'm gonna go with Montez Sweat. I agree with Juan. Pedro has some good points too. I'm gonna say Montez just off the simple fact that we got Chase Young. They're gonna be double teaming him. They're gonna be sliding the protection to him. You got the Bama boys in the middle. So it's gonna be one-on-one for Montez. Montez should be getting back there. In the last 3 games, I love the way he played against Dallas. Sacked Dak a couple times, forced fumbles. He got more acclimated, and he's not going to be dropping back in coverage anymore. So that's huge for him with Jack Del Rio. So I can't wait to see Montez Sweat. Somebody else said Deron Payne breakout year, Cole Holcomb possibly. Sean Dion Hamilton is a good pick too. Ryan Anderson's a good pick too. I like Ryan Anderson. He had great games towards the end of the year, sacking Carson Wentz, strip fumbling Carson Wentz. He played his butt off when Ryan Kerrigan got hurt. And he got more of an opportunity. So I hope Sean Dion Hamilton gets more snaps. And I really hope Ryan Anderson gets more snaps. So, but about Jimmy Moreland and Fabian Moreau, that's a good pick too. Fabian Moreau, if he can stay healthy, I could see it happen. Because he played a lot better towards the end of the year. The Lions game, he had a good game. He played in the outside. He's way better in the outside in the slot. So I could see Fabian Moreau improving and getting better. What do you guys think about A.M. Hunter's statement?
Want me to go first, Pedro?
What?
So you want me to go first?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Monroe, that's my guy. I think once he finally got towards the outside cornerback position, he started the ball. I think he just needs to stay away from the slot, and he'll ball out. I think he really can be a great corner in this league. I mean, he's finally starting to show that second round pick that we got from UCLA a couple years back. When he can stay healthy, he's really dominant. Just stay away from the slot, please, because he gets dominated in the slot. Same for Jimmy Moreland. We thought that since he was small, he was going to play the slot, but I think he really can compete outside. So as long as these guys stay to what they're good at, and our coaches put where they're good at instead of trying to force them to play something that they're not, then I think these guys can thrive. I think Fabian Monroe could really grow into that Dunbar role where Dunbar first started off slow. Then he found his groove, and he was obviously one of the best corners in the league last year. I think Monroe could be the same or even better. So he can possibly take over that number one role, for the future.
Yeah, I agree. I already said what I said about Moreland, and I think Moreau, we'll see what Fabian does in training camp. Let's see if he can beat out Ronald Darby for that outside spot. We'll see. That's going to be a good battle. But yeah, I think he played a lot better on the outside last year. Had a bunch of picks in the second half of the year. So yeah, I agree. Those are two good picks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Protect Sports, man. Make sure you guys sub with his channel. He's a good guy. Big Redskins fan. Shout out to 1,000 subs with no videos challenge. We got another donation here. My man Abu Ho. Shout out to him for the donation. He said, "I know Montez Sweat and AGG will be breakout stars." I agree. I mean, we saw AGG working out with Anquan Bolden. Those are good signs. We know he had the virus. He's recovered from that. I think he was asymptomatic, and he's quarantined for 2 weeks. And Montez Sweat is a beast, man. I can't wait to see the guy play. I can't wait. A Philly Talk podcast. Thank you for the donation. That's my guy right there. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. He's a Philadelphia Eagles YouTuber. Make sure you guys. I'm gonna say sub him up. I'm not gonna say go and troll him because he's one of the most humble Eagles YouTubers. There's some other Eagles YouTubers out there that like to talk a lot of trash. I Philly Talk podcast is not one of those guys. He will talk some trash, but he's not gonna go back and forth and things like he's not one of those cocky Eagles fans. Eagles fans, I'm not gonna go in on Eagles right now. That's my guy. Philly Talk is my guy. So I will be going on. We're gonna be on StreamYard next week, giving you guys a sneak peek. He's gonna be the next guest on the show next week. I think we're gonna be doing simultaneously on StreamYard. We're gonna be streaming from both channels at the same time. So it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a different experience. I haven't done this before. So it's gonna be pretty cool. And we're playing y'all week 1. We owe you guys. We owe you guys. I'm telling you.
Did you say his name was again?
Philly Talk podcast.
Yeah, he's blocked. Get him out of here. It's like, no, I'm playing. But week 1, we gonna blow him up. I'm standing now. I'm making my hot take. Dwayne gonna throw for 4 touchdowns. I'm telling you, man. We gonna give him the business, man. We gonna give him the business.
Yeah. I was telling another Eagles YouTuber that Dwayne Haskins got Rookie of the Week against the Eagles last year when he threw for 261 yards, had 2 touches, and ran for 26 yards on a read option play. It's crazy the Eagles let Dwayne Haskins run 26 yards on a running play.
Don't forget he hit him with the man.
I just hope these fans, these haters, keep sleeping on Dwayne, and then just next year when he balls out, they're all just gonna get proven wrong.
Right. But shout out to him. He's a great guy. He's a cool guy. He's an up and coming YouTuber. He's like 4,000 subs already. I mean, he's shot up there really quickly. He's on his ground right now. He's a great guy, man. He's a great guy. Barrett Downing, thank you for the donation. He said Montez Sweat, y'all. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty big on Montez. I'm pretty big, and I'm happy that we traded up. Some people are mad that we traded up for Montez Sweat, but I'm still. I think he's still worth it. I think he was still worth that we traded up.
Yeah.
Protect Sports, thank you for the donation. He said breakout guy on offense is Steven Sims. On defense, Jonathan Allen. What do you guys think about that statement?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I already talked about Steven Sims, and I think Jonathan Allen, I think he's also going to benefit from the 4-3 switch, and I think or not from the 4-3 switch, from Chase Young being an addition to the team. And I think Jonathan Allen last year, he did play 15 games, but he missed the first half or the second half of the Eagles game and he wasn't playing healthy until like week 4. So I think if he gets a fully healthy year, I think he's going to get like 8-9 sacks and be a beast this year. I'm really excited to see what he can do because last year was really his first year or second year of being healthy. So I think he's going to have a great year this year.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I like I said personally, I don't think the breakout. I don't think John Allen's a breakout. It's like we're almost already expecting him to, have a great season this year. I'll go as far as breakout. If you want to go that route, I would say Deron Payne, since he hasn't really lived up to that 15. I think we drafted him 15 or 13. Since he hasn't lived up to that first round, pick to where he was picked at. I think you will go more that route. I think John Allen has already proven himself, and he's going to get that bag this offseason. Now, he's going to play even more hard since he's going to want to earn that money this upcoming offseason, or I think it is this upcoming offseason or the next one. But whenever he's getting ready to get paid is soon, and I think he's really going to ball out this year because he wants to get that money. And I think, yeah, like Pedro said, he wasn't healthy till week 4, but let's just be real. He wasn't really healthy throughout that whole season. I mean, you could just see it in Jonathan Allen, the way he was playing all last year. I don't think personally that he ever recovered fully from that injury that he sustained in, I think it was week 1 or week 2. So yeah, I think John Allen, he's going to be a beast, man. In my opinion, like I said, I think it's already like we're expecting him to go out there.
Oh yeah. John Allen's a beast. It's hard to say him a breakout player, but he could because he hasn't made a Pro Bowl yet. So he definitely could break out. I think he had 8 sacks in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So he had a great year. Last year was kind of a down year. Deron Payne kind of had a down year a little bit, but I think he can definitely improve next year. I just think under Jack Del Rio and adding Chase Young, they're just going to play a lot better and just 100% better defensive coordinator. With Jack Del Rio. Shout out to Skins fan all day. He's a channel. Yeah. Make sure you guys sub him up. That's my guy out there. I think we got a Dallas fan in here. Ready Red. He said Skins fan. Really? Dallas sucks out the gate, huh? Yeah, that's how we do over here. Ready Red. That's how we do, man. Let's see here. So Nathan Stack said for sure Isaiah Wright. Nobody talks about him. So what do you guys think about Rich Heigl said Darius Geis on offense, Reuben Foster on defense. So what do you guys think about Dwayne Haskins losing weight? Do you think that's going to help him out, or is it going to help him improve, or it doesn't matter at all?
I think it's going to help him out a bit. I think it's not going to help him out too much, though. I think he's going to be a little more mobile in the pocket. I don't think he's going to get that much more scrambling yards than he did last year because he kind of exceeded expectations when it came to running last year. His mobility, we didn't think he was going to get any rushing yards, but he had a few really nice rushes last year. But I think the losing the weight is going to help him more in the pocket, getting out of tackles. And I think it's going to help him out a bit, not too much, but it's nice to see that he's putting in the work this offseason, that he actually lost that much weight. So it's showing that he's putting in so much work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. With him losing 10 pounds, I mean, like I said in my videos, he's killing people on the read option. I mean, like we said, he ran a 5.4 at the combine, I believe, and he already shocked us with his mobility because that was his biggest question. We already knew he had the big arm coming into the NFL. But with him showing us that he could scramble and him surprising us with his mobility, him losing 10 pounds is going to make him that much more faster. And then he is getting bigger too. So that's not really – it's not like we're expecting him to go out there and be a Lamar Jackson. We just need him to avoid the pressure when need be. And he already is doing that. And he showed you that he can run 26 yards for a first down multiple times in multiple games. So with him losing 10 pounds, I think the read option is going to be more influence in this offense than it was, previously last year.
Mm-hmm. That's facts. I agree. I mean, I like that he lost the weight. Shows that he's working hard. We can do some more of that read option. I'm not saying that's the thing that we're going to go to because he's more of a pocket passer. But when Dwayne Haskins gets out there, man, when he did that run against the Eagles, I got a little excited right there. So I want to see some more of that. Who do you guys think will make the roster in the running backs? Do you think there's going to be a surprise cut like a Bryce Love on the pup list maybe, or who do you guys got making it at the running back spot?
Juan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll take this one. You said who do I think is going to get cut?
Yeah, in the running back spot.
For sure, this one is probably the easiest, in my opinion, if I was the GM or the one making the decisions here. It would easily be JD McKissick, or not JD McKissick, but Peyton Barber. And that's really the only one that I say that would possibly get cut, in my opinion. I think Bryce Love would make it. Darius Geis, obviously, Adrian Peterson, the durability and him getting better with age. And J.D. McKissick and also Bryce Love are the ones that's going to be my running backs going into 2020. So if we had to break this down from a one, the starting, I would give it to Adrian Peterson just because we know we can rely on him being healthy. Then there is Geis, and then obviously Bryce Love, and then J.D. McKissick. And we can throw Antonio Gibson in there too, obviously, because we're expecting him to be the X factor. But the ones that I think is going to get cut is probably most likely going to be Peyton Barber. And I guess people saying J.D. McKissick, but I don't think he's going to get cut. I think he's going to make it. But the one for sure that I think is going to get cut is Peyton Barber for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Pretty much everything you said. I think Barber's, unless he goes completely off in training camp, I don't think he's going to make the team. And then the only way maybe he makes the team is that if Bryce Love or Darius Geis are starting off the season injured and are on the pup list. But if that doesn't happen, I think AP, Darius Geis, Antonio Gibson definitely, and Bryce Love definitely making the team. And then most likely J.D. McKissick's also going to make the team, unless Antonio Gibson is an absolute stud in the pass catching. And if he is, then maybe you cut McKissick. But I think they brought him in for a reason, so I think we're going to keep McKissick.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to keep 5. And, there's no way they keep 6, of course. I think 5 might be a little too much, in my opinion, but they just brought in so many guys, and I think Bryce Love should be healthy. I mean, the injury happened in December 2018 and it's 2020. So it's hard for me to believe that he's just not going to be ready for week 1. But, crazier things have happened with the Redskins. I mean, Colt McCoy took forever to come back from his injury. And, Darius Geis should make it if he's healthy. Of course, Adrian Peterson. A lot of people are saying cut Adrian Peterson, but I don't agree with that because he's the most reliable running back. McKissick, I would keep McKissick, and Antonio Gibson's considered a running back. So I think we're going to keep 5. I really only want to keep 4, but I think we're going to keep 5. And I like JD. I'm excited to see JD McKissick a little bit too, see what he can do because I know he played receiver in college. See what he can do in the slot. He can move the slot a little bit and make us really more versatile. So I think we're going to keep 5. Rich Heigl, he said Darius Geis, Bryce Love, Adrian Peterson, and Antonio Gibson will make the team. So those are some good picks right here. Shout out to him. Somebody had a good question here. Let me see if I can find it. Rashard Collins, he said, what position are you guys most worried about? And what's the second most position that you guys are worried about on the team?
Okay, I'll go first. So I think tight end is probably our worst position group, but not necessarily I'm the most worried about because it's not one of the most important. And I think the two I'm most worried about is our secondary, our cornerbacks, and then offensive line. I think with our division, our receivers, the Cowboys got super good receivers, the Eagles got some pretty good receivers, and the Giants have some decent weapons, and our corners aren't that great. So I'm worried a little bit about that. We already got burnt last year against the Cowboys, especially the Eagles. And then offensive line, I'm still a little worried about it because we got to protect Dwayne. I think that's part of the reason why he struggled in the early part of the season last year is because he didn't have the great offensive line. So I think Sheriff is going to be great. I think Roulier is good. We'll see how Morgan Moses plays this year. I think this is his last really chance. Like if he plays good, I think we'll keep him for another year or two. But if he doesn't, I think his contract is really huge and we could end up possibly cutting him next offseason.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that note, but I'm gonna go tight end. And the reason for me going tight end is because Dwayne Haskins, he needs weapons. Urban Meyer said the best. You want the best out of Dwayne Haskins, you got to surround him with weapons. You got to surround him with weapons. And last year, we seen how limited he was with weapons last year. And I think as Terry McLaurin, we are expecting him to go off. Kelvin Harmon or AGG, we know how talented they are. And that's not going to be it. That's not going to be it. I don't think Steven Sims, Terry McLaurin, and Kelvin Harmon could do it all by themselves. Although that's going to help out a lot. I think just having that one more threat in the passing game just will help him out even more. Like, let's just be real and let's reminisce for a second here. Let's just think if Dwayne Haskins had a healthy team last year, him being healthy too, and just adding a Jordan Reed. 2015 Jordan Reed too. Look, just realize how scary that offense would be. And I'm saying nobody on this roster is as good as Jordan Reed because, I mean, they're not. But just having that reliable weapon that you could dump it off to, throw in the middle of the seams, throw a crossing route or two maybe. Just having that extra weapon will help him out a lot more. But just taking that away, just knowing that you don't have no one as a threat in the passing game, then it's like, what else do we have to check? I mean, they don't really have proven receivers outside of McLaurin. I mean, he wasn't proven really much last year because he was a rookie. But just outside of McLaurin, who else is proven? And them not having a tight end is just like, what else do we have to check? And like, let's just make a comparison with the 49ers. You take away George Kittle. I mean, yes, they do have Deebo Samuel, but who else is really a threat? Who else is really a threat? So, and I think that's the same for the Washington Redskins. That's why I'm saying tight end is really the biggest issue for the Washington Redskins here today or this year rather. And then my second probably would be secondary, but I don't think that's really a big issue because, I mean, if you're I'm a fan of, pass rush over secondary. And if your pass rush is really as good as it's supposed to be, you don't really need Antonio Cromartie and Darrell Reeves doing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you don't.
Right. Tight end, it is weak for us. I mean, they said our wide receivers are 32nd in the league. PFF said that. I think tight end is worse than the league. It is. And nothing against Logan Thomas, but there's nothing to really be excited about Logan Thomas. I mean, I saw some of his highlights. He's athletic. We know he hurt Ryan Kerrigan. He gave Ryan Kerrigan a concussion. Everybody's hyped up about that. He showed some flashes here and there, but I think his best season receiving in the league was like 100-something yards, and that's pretty awful. I know he's still learning the position at tight end and transitioning. And then, of course, I don't want to get started on Jeremy Sprinkle. Richard Rodgers has been on IR for the past 2 years. He's old, injury prone. I like Hale Hinches. He's probably my favorite guy. Him and Thaddeus Moss are my two favorite guys on the roster, and they're very young and unproven. Thaddeus Moss hasn't played a game yet. And Hale Hinches only played, 8 games last year. He showed flashes, but he hasn't done enough. He's still young. He was undrafted as well, I think. So tight end is a big concern. Left tackle is a big concern. Sadiq Charles, Cornelius Lucas. I don't know who's going to start. I think it's going to be Sadiq, but he's a rookie, so that's tough. And corners is pretty weak too. Ronald Darby had a rough year last year with the Eagles. He's been injury prone. Fabian Moreau has been injury prone as well. Jimmy Moreland's young. Kendall Fuller's more of a slot guy, so I'm gonna go with tight end though right now. But left tackle, we do need. I'm really hoping Sadiq is ready to go, and if he's not, he gets ready to go pretty quickly at least week 4.
Did you guys see that? I was listening to John Kime's podcast, and he was talking about how the Redskins are gonna try to use Kendall Fuller in the slot, but they might also play him at safety. What do you guys think about that?
Well, he did play safety with the Chiefs, and I heard that he didn't play as well as he did with the Redskins at corner. So I know they wanted to move him around and use him as safety. So it is a little that's good that he's versatile. Sean Davis is supposed to be our free safety. Of course, Landon Collins is going to play every game. He's going to be playing. There's no way they're going to sit down Landon Collins at all. I guess if Sean Davis doesn't play well, then we might have Kendall Fuller back there or whatever it said that Jack Del Rio might just want to switch it up, and maybe put Jimmy Moreland in the slot. So that's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree on that. With him playing safety, though, I think the only reason why they really moved him at safety was just because, like you said, they weren't given the production that he was given in Washington. And I think he wasn't comfortable in the Chiefs' defense. So with him coming back here and him being more comfortable, just going to bring the best out of him. And, him playing safety, I mean, like Ed said, that's just a plus for us. He's more versatile, and maybe we can slide Jimmy in the slot and then move him to safety, even take him off the field, move Sean Davis into safety. then move Fab in the slot. I know we don't want him in the slot, but that's just switching things up and giving the offense a new look. That's what I like about this team. And Kendall Fuller is that he's versatile, and that's just going to give toys that Jack Del Rio can play with.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oscar Josue Montel, thank you for the donation, man. He's another channel member as well. Thank you for the donation. He said, who will be your surprise cuts on defense? That's a good question. I'll let you guys go first.
My surprise cut? I mean, I don't think I really have a surprise cut as of right now. But, I mean, I guess Darby would be a surprise since we brought him in and we really need him. But then again, that wouldn't be a surprise if he signed to a one-year deal. I don't think it's really any surprise cuts on this team because we all signed all of them to one-year deals for depth. So I don't think it really would be a surprise cut. But I would go with probably Darby, Bostic, and Sean Davis since how high Ron Rivera is on Sean Davis. So I guess that would really be my surprise cut. But I don't think it's a surprise cut since we signed so many players to one-year deals. So if they did get cut, it would be like, oh, okay. We ain't losing nothing.
Yeah, I agree with I somewhat agree with Darby. It could end up being that Orlando Scandrick situation from a couple years ago, that Cam body. But I think mine are I doubt it happens. Like I said, it's surprise cut. But I think Bostic could be one if Reuben Foster is healthy, then because our linebacking core is already pretty crowded, and if Reuben Foster is healthy, then that could slide Bostic out. And then Josh Harvey Clemens, I doubt he makes the team too. So that's my surprise cut, Bostic.
Yeah, Bostic's a good one. That's a good one. Josh Harvey Clemens, I think he's the outside guy looking in. I know Jack Del Rio had a press conference the other day, and he didn't even say his name. I think he said every linebacker on the roster's name except for Josh Harvey Clemens. And I think he might have forgot to say Reuben Foster because of the injury situation. I see some people in the comments are saying Reuben Foster, but I don't see that happening unless he's still somehow not healthy. Even if he's not healthy, he'll probably be like on the PUP list or something like that if he's not ready for week 1. So I would probably say Josh Harvey Clemens. I saw somebody say Caleb Brantley. I don't think that will happen, but who knows? John Bostic. It probably would be between John Bostic. But I think John Bostic should make the team as well. So I would probably say if it's a surprise, Ronald Darby's a good one too, Pedro, because you really could compare him to Orlando Scandrick. When we signed Orlando Scandrick, I actually thought he was going to make the team a couple years ago. But next thing you know, they just cut him. Like first couple of days in training camp, they cut him. So, but we do need Ronald Darby. I wouldn't be unless Ronald Darby played awful and was getting burnt up by like Trey Quinn in training camp. Then okay, I would say go ahead and cut him. But if he's playing okay, we just need bodies. We need bodies because I don't want to see Aaron Colvin out there and some no-name DBs out there like we were last year. So, but that was a good question.
A couple other names real quick that I think no one mentions at all that we have no idea what they're going to do is James Smith-Williams and Jordan Brailford. Like our defensive line, our defensive ends are so good that they might not make the team, and they're both 7th-round picks. And I think one of them is going to make the team, but I just don't know who out of those two. It's going to be a tough pick because Brailford never got to show what he could do because he was hurt. And then James Smith-Williams was hurt all in college, but got drafted by us with our last pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be a good training camp battle right there. James Smith-Williams versus Jordan Brailford. I see somebody saying Cam Curl. I think Beast Mode 2.0, he said Cameron Curl. I could see maybe Trey Apke getting cut. I could see that possibly happen, but we do need all the safety depth that we can get because if we cut him, then the next guy would be DeShazer Everett. So we need as many safeties as we can get. I guess we'll move over to the offensive side. Shout out to Big Simple 422. Make sure you guys sub him up. He's a big skins fan, big YouTuber.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll talk about the offense. Who's a surprise cut on the offense that you guys have?
Want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
My surprise cut will probably I would say one of the young guys because all the veterans that we have on the team aren't as far as the offensive side goes. It wouldn't really be a shock to me, but offense probably would be Morgan Moses. Or Jeremy Sprinkle, but I know we want him gone, but I just think that they're not going to, cut him only because of how good his blocking is. Because he is amazing at blocking at times, although his hands are trash. But he is a good blocker, and we lack blocking tight ends. I know we do have the dual threat in that Moss, but we do need more blocking tight ends. So my surprise would probably be Morgan Moses, just because it could be worse. Like I say all the time, right tackle could really be worse. And I think Morgan Moses, when it's healthy, he is at the top of his game. I mean, he started every game for like a couple past years. It was a crazy stat. He started in every game. So we know he's going to be there. You know how durability or how reliable he is, whether that's he's 100% or 60%, he's going to go out there and play. So it was some crazy stat that I seen where he started like every game for the past couple years.
Yeah.
So my surprise cut would possibly be Morgan Moses.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see it happening this year just because it is a surprise cut, but just because of the money, I think we don't save much at all. It's like a $4 million cap hit, something like that. But I definitely think that could happen next year. I really don't have a huge surprise cut on offense. I mean, maybe Jerron Christian, but I think he makes the team. That's really my biggest surprise cut. We all know one or two of the tight ends that we have on the roster, or the main guys, are going to get cut. So I don't really have a main guy, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep Morgan Moses just because we don't have another right tackle to really back him up. We got Cornelius Lucas and Sadiq's a rookie, so I think we're going to keep Morgan. He's had some rough times, like the fall starts, the game against the Niners where he just froze and like he let the guy just run right past him. So Morgan Moses has his really terrible moments, but we need as much veteran leadership in the offensive line. So I think he's going to stay, but maybe next year he might get cut.
Yep.
And my surprise cut on offense, yeah, it probably would be Jeremy Sprinkle. It's not really a surprise in my opinion. But if he can hang on to the ball, then sure, we'll keep him. But yeah, I could go with Thaddeus Moss. I guess Cody Latimer. Quap said, "Why do we need Cody Latimer?" I don't think that's really a surprise either, especially with all the things going on. I just think our receivers are better than Cody Latimer anyway. I think Calvin Harmon has more upside than Cody Latimer. I think Steve Sims, of course, is better than him. Terry McLaurin is better than him. AGG will be better than Cody Latimer. So I guess there's not really any surprises, honestly. So I would cut Cody Latimer and I would cut what's his name, Jeremy Sprinkle probably as well.
Yeah, you guys think that we sign another receiver? Because I keep on listening to JP Finley's podcast. He thinks we're going to sign another veteran receiver. And there's a couple guys out there. You got Demarius Thomas, Chris Hogan, who played for the Panthers last year, Taylor Gabriel. And then the biggest name that would be controversial, but he's an absolute beast when he's on the field, is Josh Gordon. What do you guys think about Josh Gordon?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen, only just because we're under Ron Rivera. Now, we did have Jay Gruden again and Bruce Allen. We know how crazy Bruce Allen was with the signings, trades, and or money when we did sign a player. Then we could see that happening. But I don't think Ron is going to be signing anything no more. I just think that even you could tell during free agency how he wasn't really spending it on players that were good, or I wouldn't say good, but big names. And he rarely was spending money, as free agency. We know how that went. So I just think under Ron Rivera's new regime, he's not going to be spending money that much as for this year, rather. And I think if he had an idea to sign a receiver, as he did Cody Latimer, he would have signed, or Latimer rather, he would have signed multiple receivers, because, he could have done it, but I don't think he's going to do it no time soon.
Yeah, Josh Gordon, every time we bring him up, somebody always comments says he's under contract with Seattle. So I guess we got to look up the contract terms with Seattle. I don't know if he's still under contract. I guess he is. Honestly, I wouldn't really bring in anybody. Somebody, I think he himself said Antonio Clown. I wouldn't bring up Antonio Brown. Sorry about DMV Sports 3. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you for that, man. Shout out to DMV Sports 3. Good guy. Who else is out there? Josh Gordon, Demarius Thomas. He actually put up the same numbers as Calvin Harmon last year. I looked up his stats; they had like similar numbers. So Calvin Harmon can do basically everything that Demarius Thomas has done. He's kind of washed up. Chris Hogan is pretty washed up too. He was injured last year, so I wouldn't bring in Chris Hogan. No Antonio Clown. The only person I would really think about maybe is Josh Gordon, and he really can't be trusted. He really can't be trusted. But I know they're not really testing for reefer like that anymore. But I like our young guys. I just want to see what our young guys have, and I think this is a year to let the young guys grow and develop. Steve Sims develop. Terry McLaurin get better and improve and show that he's a top, 20, top 10 receiver in this league. And Calvin Harmon, show what he is, and let AGG show what he can do. So I don't think we're going to bring anybody in. If we do cut Cody Latimer, then we actually might bring somebody else in.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
But yeah, that was a good question. Let's see here. Yeah, like you said, Ron is playing. Ron is keeping the young guys. Do you guys think we would go after any free agent cornerbacks like a Dequez Denard or a Logan Ryan? I know Eli Apple just got signed. Is there any free agent corners you guys would take a look at?
Well, I really like, or not really like, but I think Darqueze Denard would be good. He wasn't really healthy last year, but when he was healthy, he was pretty good in coverage. So I would take a look at him. And the thing that's going to be good if you want to sign veteran corners now is that the price is so low. Like Eli Apple just got signed for $4 million. Like that's kind of what we're looking at, the price. And you still got a couple good names out there. Logan Ryan is still out there, but he's going to get big money. Or like he's not going to get as much money as he wanted, but he's still going to get big money. And then another sleeper guy that I wouldn't be mad if we signed is Ross Cockrell, who played for the Panthers last year, had a couple picks, and then had 3 picks the year before, and has pretty good coverage stats. So he's not the best, but I think he would be some good depth for us.
Yeah, definitely. Dequez Denard and Ross Cockrell. I like Dequez Denard, but I'm just not like I don't think we're gonna be spending any money no more because I just feel as though like if we were, we would have got it done because I mean these guys aren't guys that are really gonna come in here or you're not even expecting them to come in here and really do damage. So I mean if we were gonna do this, we would have been did it. That's what's so good about veterans that aren't really that good no more is that you can sign them at any time. I feel as though that if we're not going to sign them now, we could probably sign them in November, October, whatever. Or if we do make a signing, I think it's going to be more towards after or before preseason or right before training camp so they can get in there and show the young guys how it's done. But as of right now, I don't think he's going to do anything because I think if he would have did it, it would have been done by now.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, G-Man said, why do we get Ronald Darby over Eli Apple? You think I've been meaning to ask you that? Yeah, I mean, Eli Apple's okay. He's not that great either. They're both kind of okay guys. They kind of been burnt up in their careers, so I'm fine with either or. Shout out to Abu Ho for the donation. He's a channel member. That's my guy. He said, "Don't forget Jalen Ramsey. We need him next year." What do you guys think about that? I know it's looking in the future. Do you guys think there's actually a chance in free agency next year to bring in Jalen Ramsey?
I mean, I think Jalen's all about the money. He wanted to get out of Jacksonville because of the money. And so I think because he wanted a new contract. So I honestly think it's whoever's going to pay him the most is who's going to get him. So if we're willing to pay the big bucks, then maybe, I mean, we offered Amari Cooper more than $20 million a year. So I think it's going to be at least at the starting point at the lowest possible amount per year is $18 million a year for Jalen Ramsey. So I think I would personally like this signing, but it would be a lot of money considering we have our D line to pay soon and a couple others. But I think it would be good, but it's going to be tough because all teams are going to try to get him.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Like I said, Jalen Ramsey, although he did say he wants to get money, and I'm of course sure that he did want to get money. I think it's just really that he wanted to get out of Jacksonville. I mean that franchise is just it's ran worse than us. I mean you had Tom Coughlin. I heard stories about him giving fines to players for being late or some crazy thing about that. You know, I read into it saying that he treats them bad or whatever, and that's why players were so happy that he was gone. And just that franchise just being poorly ran, worse than the Washington Redskins, and that's saying a lot. But I just think you could see it from guys being not disciplined. Jalen Ramsey didn't want to be there; he got out of there. Yannick Ngakoue, who's from Maryland, he took it on Twitter and said, "Why is he ducking him?" He was talking as far as the GM. It's just a whole bunch of bad vibes over there. So I don't think that I'm not saying that Ramsey didn't want money because I mean, of course he did, but I think he really just wanted to get out of Jacksonville just because of how toxic the situation is. And I only said 2 players. I'm pretty sure it was a whole bunch of other players. You can throw Calais Campbell in there. I'm pretty sure that's why they traded him, because he wanted to get traded. But as far as the Jalen Ramsey situation goes here, I say throw in the bag. We're going to have so much money next year. I know we got to take care of our players first, such as Sheriff, if we don't reach one by training camp, a long-term deal that is. We got Sheriff. But I think after Sheriff, throw him the bag. I mean, I think we're going to be in Super Bowl winning mode next season. Having our coaching staff, having our young guys get used to the getting their feet wet. So I think next year we're going to be in Super Bowl winning mode. So I say throw him the bag. But I think it's going to, like Pedro said, it's going to be hard since all 30 teams are going to want the best corner in all of football. I think he is, personally.
Yeah, shout out to DMV Sports Zone. He's a new channel member, man. Shout out to him, man. Thank you for joining the What's Good Skins fans membership. So Abu Ho, about that question, Jalen Ramsey, I think it's a small possibility. A lot of people are saying, of course, since the Rams spent 2 first-round picks on Jalen Ramsey, they want to keep him. Kind of like how the Cowboys spent the first-round pick and they signed Amari Cooper to a big contract. So I think Jalen Ramsey probably is going to stay in L.A. I know we're going to hype because, of course, he liked the Instagram picture and he supported Dwayne Haskins. So he is kind of playing with Redskins fans' emotions, just like a Stephon Diggs from last year, 2 years in a row. He had a Photoshop in a Redskins jersey and played with Redskins fans' emotions. So I know it's easy to get caught up in a hype, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. And we'll see with the Rams. If the Rams go 5-11 or 4-12 or something like that, that's a way where I can see Jalen Ramsey really not wanting to go back to the Rams, and he would probably try to sign with Redskins because we are going to have an elite defensive line for years to come with Chase Young. So it would be easier for him, and he could go back to those elite years that he had in Jacksonville. So who knows? You never know. You just never know. So my next question is, how do you guys feel Ryan Kerrigan fits in next year, and who do you guys think is going to start on the defensive line?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think Kerrigan, I don't think he's going to get as much playing time. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but the good thing that's going to benefit him is the 4-3. So last year, really his whole career in Washington, we've been playing the 3-4, and he's been mostly rushing the passer, but he sometimes has been dropping back in coverage like Montez Sweat was last year, even more than Sweat. So I think he's going to be coming in on the rotations, and I think when he comes in, I think he's going to benefit from not playing too many snaps because he's going to be fresh, and I think he's going to be able to get, around that 5 to 8 sacks. I think he's still going to be able to contribute to the team. And then for the starters, I think it's going to be on the outside. You got obviously Chase Young, Montez Sweat. And then I think it really depends on the situation, who you have in the interior. I think Allen's always going to be in there unless he needs a rest. But then the other guy, I think it's probably going to be Matt Ioannidis when it's pass rushing situations. And then on the run, it's going to be Daron Payne. But a lot of the times, even though it's a 4-3, they do have 5 people on the D-line, so it could be all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, for sure. And like I said this early in the off season, I'm starting to change my mind. I really think, although Kerrigan isn't going to start, I think he's going to get more into the defense than we are expecting him. I think he's really going to be more involved. Just that's how dominant our defense is and how much we have talent on here. I think since he's going to be wanting to break, and I think he will break the sack leading for the Redskins this year, I think he's going to be more involved into the defense than we are expecting him. And then as far as the starters goes, I think it's going to be obviously, like you said, Chase Young, Montez Sweat. But I think the interior will remain the same as far as John Allen goes and Daron Payne. I think just Matt Ioannidis, he thrives being in that role to where he doesn't have to worry about being the starter per se, but coming in doing damage. I just think although he does put up numbers better than some people's starters, I think just him playing that backup role per se is just that's him. That's calling his name. He got his writing all over. He thrived at that, and I just think putting him in the starting position, although he puts up numbers that says put him in the starting position, I think that's just not his role. You know how you always have that player on the court, basketball court, like a James Harden in 2012 with the Thunder. We know he was a starter. We know he could have been a starter, and he's showing that now, obviously, before the season got canceled, that he is a starter. He is a star player, but you've seen how dominant he was being the sixth man. And Lou Williams, matter of fact, we can throw Lou Williams in there. You see how dominant Lou Williams is as a sixth man. But we know he could start on other teams. You see what I'm trying to say here? I think Matt Ioannidis can start on other teams. Him and Tim Settle can be a 1-2 punch as a John Allen and Deron Payne is, but I think they thrive the best being a backup, being that backup role.
Yeah, I agree. I think Montez Sweat is going to start. I think Chase Young is going to start, and it's going to be the Bama boys. Even though Matt Ioannidis really played better than the Bama boys, he was a Pro Bowl alternate. So Matt Ioannidis really just might start. But Ryan Kerrigan can be that rotational pass rusher. I see some people in the chat saying that we should trade Ryan Kerrigan. I don't agree. I don't like his contract with $11.5 million. I wish they would have restructured it. But I would keep Ryan Kerrigan, and he would be able to mentor Chase Young. He would be able to mentor Montez Sweat as well. And he's going to be better, once again, with a better defensive coordinator. Hands in the dirt, won't have to be dropping back in coverage. Imagine all the sacks that he was getting with Greg Minuski. Imagine what he can do with Jack Del Rio. So the sky is the limit for Ryan Kerrigan. So my next question is, what's your guys' record prediction for next year? I forgot what it was. And what's your projected stats for Dwayne Haskins?
I said 6-10, 7-9. I would love that, because I mean that's just almost double the wins that you got last year. But I think we really can make a playoff push this year. I really think that we could possibly win 11 games. A lot of people aren't expecting that to happen, and I'm not either. But I just think we have the talent and the best coaching staff that can put us in that situation to win 11 games next year. But more realistically speaking, 6-10, 7-9 would be my prediction, and 4-12, 5-11 being the lowest. But yeah, that's just my prediction, and I feel as though my stats for Dwayne, more realistically, probably 20 touchdowns. But hey, if you want me to jazz it how I've been doing this whole offseason, he's winning MVP, and I think he'll throw 50 touchdowns as he did at the Horseshoe. So 50 touchdowns, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks probably, and he'll be the best quarterback in all of football next year. Hey, call me crazy now. Check back with me in 9 months. That's been my slogan all offseason. Check back with me in 9 months, man, when that happens.
So I agree with your record prediction. I think it's going to be like 6-7 wins. I think that's honestly, if we get to that 6-7 win threshold, I think that's perfect, because that means you're really one free agency piece away, some development away, and a draft pick away from making the playoffs in 2021. But I do think there's still a chance we can make the playoffs next year. I think it all depends on Dwayne. I think if Dwayne plays like he did that last few games this season, I think we can win 8 games, maybe even 9 games. But if he plays worse, then maybe it's 6 games or lower. But I'm thinking around 7 games. And then when it comes to stat predictions, it's so hard to do that for really a second. Really, it's his first year. It's going to be his first year starting the whole season or becoming the starting quarterback week 1, hopefully. So it's going to be hard if he starts if he plays more than 14 games next year. I'm thinking like 28 touchdowns, maybe like 9 picks. That's solid. That's an above average quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got us going 6-10. I think Dwayne will throw about 22 touchdowns, 11 picks or something like that. That's pretty solid. That's not bad at all, especially with, all the young guys that we have. Terry McLaurin's still young. Steve Sims is still young. Not any really tight end to speak of at all. And, Sadiq Charles at left tackle. So we got some holes here and there. The defense should be better. I got us going 6-10. Of course, better coaching. I do have us beating the Eagles in week 1. I have us splitting with the Eagles, splitting with the Giants, splitting with the whole NFC East. I basically have us splitting. I think I have us beating the Panthers. Ron Rivera gets his revenge on the Panthers, so that's 4 right there. And I'm trying to remember who else out of the division I think we're going to beat. But we have a tough schedule. I got us beating the Bungles, of course. So that's 5 wins right there. I can't remember who the other win I had.
Panthers?
I got us splitting with the NFC East, so that's 3. Panthers 1. Panthers is 4 wins. Bungles is 5 wins. And then Lions. I actually have us losing to the Lions, but I had us beating somebody else. Yeah, I think we're gonna. I know Juan. I know, but I got a lot of heat for that. I got a lot of heat for people thinking we're gonna lose to the Lions, because Matt Stafford is still decent. He's not terrible, and we were in a dogfight with the Lions last year, and it was like Jeff Driscoll and some other back and forth. We were in a dogfight in that game last year. I think we've gotten better, but I think of course we're going to beat the Bungles, and I think we're going to split with the whole NFC East. So, but Dwayne's going to have a good year. I think he's going to have 22 touches, No more than 10 picks, like 22 touches, 10 picks. He's going to have a good amount of rushing yards. I want to say like maybe 300 rushing yards, and about 3 touchdowns rushing. So I got my hopes up are not too high for Dwayne, but I got 22 in 9 touchdowns. I mean, 22 touchdowns, 9 picks for Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with that. Actually, that's playoff numbers. That's playoff quarterback numbers. I think a Ryan Tannehill would be the comparison for me. You know, not having to throw the ball a lot, but he has Derrick Henry obviously in his backfield. But I'm just saying, as far as the stats goes, that's a comparison. And back to the Lions game. Now that I think about it, that's not too far fetched in my opinion no more. At first, it was like whoa, but now that I think about it, I mean, last time we played them when they had Matt Stafford. Although we did have that game in the bag, and I mean, we could have stopped them. I mean, we let them drove down the field with, I think it was like a minute left, and we let them drive down the field. It was in Detroit. Although they did, we had that game in the bag and we lost. We should have won. I think, yeah, you're right. With Matt Stafford in the lineup, they can really be dangerous. Honestly, I think the Lions. Matt Stafford is really unappreciated. I think if he wasn't in Detroit, he was on a better squad, he would really be a top tier quarterback.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that 2016 game. I remember Kirk Cousins ran in for a touchdown, and next thing you know, our defense was terrible, and then we lost the game. We really should have. 2016 is a year where we really should have made the playoffs, but it is what it is. What do you guys have projected stats for Darius Geis? What do you guys think he's going to do? You think he's going to stay healthy? I mean, it's the future. We just don't know. And if he gets hurt again, would you cut him?
Okay, so I mean, guys, like a lot of these players, it's just so hard to do stat predictions for them because, especially Geis, he's really never had like 2-3 healthy games in a row where he's been the lead back. But I think if he does end up playing, let's say, I'm not going to put 16 games because that's pretty unrealistic, but let's say 14 games. I think it's going to be hard to get over 1,000 yards just because you got AP, you got maybe Bryce Love if he's healthy, you got Antonio Gibson and McKissick. It's going to be a crowded backfield, but I think it'll start off where he's going to be him and AP are going to split carries, and I think after like week 3, week 4, Geis is going to get the majority of carries, maybe like 800 yards. It's hard to predict. And then if he does end up getting hurt, especially if it's a knee injury, if it's another one of those knee injuries after this year, you're probably going to have to cut him. If it's like a concussion or something else, then probably keep him. But knee injury, almost without a doubt, I'm going to cut him if he tears an ACL or something like that because he hasn't stayed healthy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But I mean, like I say all the time, what's fun making predictions if you ain't gonna shoot for the stars? So I'm gonna go for 1,000 season with my boy Darius Geis if he can stay healthy. But I mean, let's be more realistic here. I have him being, I would say 700 rushing, 800 rushing, and probably 400 passing yards with a total of probably 8 to 10 touchdown range. That's more realistic, on my opinion. So yeah, that's my prediction for Geis if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, Michael Harvey says if Geis stays healthy, 950 yards, 28 catches for 470 yards. So that's around the ballpark that you said, Juan. I got him getting about 700 rushing yards just because it is so crowded. Like AP is he's a first and second down back, so he's going to be fighting for carries. J.D. McKisson's got to get a couple carries. Bryce Love, if he's still on the roster, he's got to fight for carries. It's so many running backs on the roster. Shamar Doster said Darius Geis 1,400 yards, 44 touchdowns. Thank you, man. I like that. That's a crazy prediction, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, him playing 16 games is hard to really see because we've only seen him play at the most like 3 or 4 games in a row. So it will be weird to see him play 16 games in a row. That's what I'm hoping. So, but if he does get hurt again, if it's another knee injury, like an ACL, MCL, knock on wood, I hope that never happens again to him. You got to move on. You got to look at the running backs in next year's draft. At least get another one in the second round. If he does get hurt again, we probably do have to draft another one in the second round next year.
Yeah,
Shamar, how many of those touchdowns against the Giants? He's a Giants fan.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, he called Dwayne Haskins Troy Ave. I know where he got that one from. So what's your expectations for Chase Young? You know, if he gets like 7 sacks, would you be disappointed next year? Or it depends. You know, you can get 7 sacks, but you're creating pressures. You know, because I remember Preston Smith, we kind of ran him out of town, and he only had like 7 sacks. And next thing you know, he plays with a different defense in Green Bay, and he's a freaking beast. So, you know, what's your expectations for Chase Young? What would be a disappointment, and what would be overachieving for him in his rookie season?
My expectations for Chase Young would be to go, I would say 10 to 12 sack range maybe. But then if he, like you said, if he gets 7 sacks, I would not be mad at all because he's a rookie and he's getting his feet wet. So, but like if he was a veteran and we are expecting him to be, something special and he just doesn't pan out, then I would be, frustrated. But since he's a rookie, and I would say 10 to 12 is my expectation. But if he does get like 7 to 8, 6, whatever, I would not be mad because, I mean, he's a rookie and he's getting his feet wet. So that's my prediction for Chase Young. And to say about Preston Smith, I'm mad about that because, like you say, he went to Green Bay and he just tore it up, man, amongst the best DN in the league or outside linebacker, if you want to still say that. But Preston Smith went crazy. Him and Za'Darius Smith were just nasty duo.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, my expectations is I think he's going to get like 10 sacks. That's my prediction. It could be one or two less, could be one or two more. You never know. Jack Del Rio, his defenses, every year he came in, he had, I think, in Carolina, it was Julius Peppers. In Denver, it was Von Miller. And then in Oakland, it was Khalil Mack. And they all had like 12 plus or something crazy like that in their rookie year. And Chase Young coming out of college is better than all of those guys, second overall pick. So I think his expectations, I mean, my expectations for him are 10 sacks, hopefully wins defensive rookie of the year. But I mean, if he gets 8 sacks, I mean, or 7 sacks, like you said, I mean, Nick Bosa last year won defensive rookie of the year and he got 9 sacks. Like he didn't go crazy, get like 12 sacks, but yeah, I'm fine if he gets 7, 8 sacks as long as he's healthy, he's doing good, and he plays better the second half of the season. If he gets like 5 sacks the first 8 games and then 2 sacks last 8 games, then I would be a little concerned. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll end up with like 9. I think Montez Sweat is going to be the sack leader on this team. And Chase Young, he's going to be the guy like Nick Bosa, where he's just really disruptive, where he's creating pressures, he's getting back there, he's in people's face. He's going to just be wreaking havoc there. I don't think he'll get, 12, 15 sacks like a lot of people think, but I think his impact is going to be felt. He's just going to make everybody better. And 9 sacks is still good. Even if he gets 8 sacks, I think that's pretty good for a rookie. 8 sacks is good. That's not bad. I know people, like I said, Chase is going to get 12, 15. But if he ends up with 8 and it gets pressures, because Nick Bosa, like you said, only had 9 and 9.5 sacks. But you got to look at how he was getting back there and impacting the game. So I got Chase getting like 9.5 sacks as well his rookie season, and probably getting defensive rookie of the year. I just don't see anybody else getting it. I know Isaiah Simmons could get it, but he's with the Cardinals, so I don't see that happening. So I got Chase Young easily getting defensive player of the year.
Yeah, definitely.
Easy rookie defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Shout out to AM Hunter for the donation. He said, "Can Scott Turner's offense produce 2,000 rushing yards?"
No, I don't think so. I think just because the Air Coryell offense is a vertical passing offense, that's why I tell people to go look and do the research of the Don Coryell passing offense. It was during a time where run was heavy, but then he switched it up with Kellen Winslow and that Chargers offense, where he switched it up to a vertical passing offense. I just don't see no one being able to get 2,000 rushing yards. I would say even 1,000 rushing yards is more of a stretch too, just because of how heavy the passing game is about to be this year. I mean, I know I get different offensive coordinators been running this, and they had their different interpretation of the Air Coryell offense. But I just think that since it's a vertical passing offense, we're about to be throwing, passes on possibly every down, even if we don't even need to. But with that being said, the Don Coryell offense, he said it himself. The person that made it, he said every play, the first option was a deep pass. And I'm not saying that Scott Turner's, that's how he runs his. But like just saying, I know it can't be that far fetched from his Don Coryell's version of it. But with that being said, I just don't see that happening because I think It's a vertical passing offense, and I just think every play is most likely going to be a pass. I don't see anyone being able to get a 2,000-yard rushing yards.
Yeah, totally. I agree with what you said. When I was doing a research for a Scott Turner video, I saw that it was something crazy. Like when he was calling his games for the Panthers, when he was the offensive coordinator for the last 4 games, he passed the ball. It was like either 66 or 68% of the time, which is like super, super high. And like Juan said, he does a lot of vertical passes. So I do think he's definitely going to get over our rushing yards are definitely going to be over 1,000. We had over 1,000 last year. I think I can't do it off the math off the top of my head, but it's probably going to be, it's not going to be 2,000 unless our running backs go absolutely off, but probably around, 1,600, something like that.
Yeah. 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving, which is unheard of. But I don't think we'll get 2,000 rush yards. I like what I'm hearing about the Air Coryell offense because last year with Bill Callahan, we ran the ball on first down, ran the ball on second down, and then it would be 3rd and 10, and Dwayne Haskins would have to make a crazy play just for us to get a first down. So I don't think Scott Turner is going to set up Haskins and run the ball every down. I think he's going to do a nice quick pass to Terry, like a quick slant, kind of like that Eagles play where he went in slant and he just scampered off for like 80 yards. But to get back to the question, I think AP can get 700 yards. I think Geis can get about 700. And Bryce Love, you never know. Antonio Gibson's going to rack up the yards too, but I don't think 2,000. I think about 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
There is another question here. Potato said Wentz got injured 3 years in a row! Exclamation point. Brandon Bag said, "Do you guys realize that 60 sacks is a lot in college?" Yeah, that's crazy. That's why we're hyped up on Chase Young. Shamar Doster with another crazy prediction. He said Chase Young is getting 150 sacks. I love that prediction. Not realistic, but if it was Madden, shout out to Andrew Oliveros. He said, "How much would you bet for the Redskins to go 16-0?" And that's Jay Gruden Jr. right there.
What's up, Jay Gruden?
I'm not betting too high on that. I mean, if that, I'm saying this now. If that happens, man, y'all never gonna hear the end of it. I promise you. And bro, I don't care if we don't win a Super Bowl, and I know we're gonna get trolled if we don't. But just people don't understand how much pain it is being a Redskins fan, just being trolled every single day for being a Skins fan. If we go 16-0, I promise you, you're never gonna hear the end of it. That's better than the Eagles fluke run winning the Super Bowl. If we go 16-0, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not putting any money on that, but
Yeah, Andrew's a funny guy. I had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He's a funny guy. He's got us going 10-6, which a lot of people don't have us going 10-6. A lot of people have 5-11, 4-12. Some people even have us with the second pick of the draft again and getting freaking Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence or the guy from North Dakota State.
You know that guy on Twitter, Rawlings?
Oh,
yeah.
A demon as his picture.
He has us as 2-14.
Yeah, he's Adam Rank again. I don't want to get into Adam Rank again.
He's making his video soon.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just when it first came out last preseason, we were like, this dude is crazy. But then it turns out we go 3-13, so it's just he's right. So I mean, as much as
I'm sorry to cut you off. He said 2-14. It doesn't make any better, but he did say 2-14. But go ahead.
Okay, well, 2-14, but it's just he was right at the end of the day. So I mean, although his prediction is going to be bad, we got to take it into consideration that it possibly could be true. But I mean, all these people that are making predictions about the Redskins, the reason why it gets me so mad, and I know it gets other fan bases mad when they do it to their team too, is just they're not Redskins fans. They don't study the Redskins fans or Redskins how we do every day. So they don't really know what the Redskins have. So that's why they don't see us going. We don't have us seeing our players or our team going 2-14 or 3-13 as they do. But that's just because they don't follow the team as much, and they're not as in depth as a team as we are. So that's why I'm saying we're not. I don't see us going 2-14, 3-13.
Oh yeah, Adam Rank, I'm telling you, he just got lucky. He with his prediction, he predicted don't quote me on this, but I think he predicted the 49ers, Vikings, and Titans to have like less than 5 wins. And the 49ers won like 13 games. Like his predictions last year were absolutely awful. So, yeah.
Yeah. He was really disrespectful, but he ended up being right. You know, everything went wrong last year. I hate to talk about last year, but everything that could go wrong went wrong. Darius Guice got injured. Case Keenum had a really good week 1 against the Eagles, and then he just flopped. After the Bears game, it was just done.
Trent missed the year.
Yeah, Trent missed the year. Like I said, Guice got hurt. Jonathan Allen got hurt. Jordan Reed concussion. Vernon Davis concussion. What could go wrong just went wrong for the team, and I think we got more depth this year. We just have better coaching, and I think everybody just unfairly hates on Dwayne Haskins. I think a lot of people judge him on that Giants game the second half and the Vikings game second half. Nobody thinks about when he was Rookie of the Week against the Eagles. Nobody talks about when he cooked up the Giants in that first half before he got injured and went like 13 for 15 and threw 2 touchdowns. So nobody talks about those games for some reason. People just choose to hate on Dwayne Haskins. So, you know, like you were saying, Juan, you know, we know our team the best. I think we're 6-10 just because we're so young. But 2-14 is pretty disrespectful in my opinion. I think it's really disrespectful.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And just like you were saying, I think Dolphin fans, Cardinal fans, that study their team every day, and they hear people say they're going to go 2-14, 3-13 too. They're like, oh, that's disrespectful because they don't know their team. How the person that covers the Cardinals every day knows their team. That's like JP Finley trying to say the Raiders are going to go 2-14. He doesn't cover the Raiders day-to-day basis how he does the Redskins. So it's just like these people that make these predictions don't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think one of the few teams that we can actually say that probably will go 2-14 or 3-13 is probably the Bengals, the Jaguars. Those are 2 teams that I think are just going to be really bad again. But the Redskins, we're at worst is 5 wins. That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, as long if we win, even if we don't win that 7 wins, we get like 5 or 6. If we're like super competitive in those games and we just barely lose most of our games and Dwayne's playing super good, that's really encouraging because that means we were playing good in most of our games. It was just a few small adjustments that got us to what our record was, and we're going to end up getting a super good draft pick and maybe get some protection for Dwayne or a lockdown corner. But yeah, I think this is a good trial year. We'll see. Hopefully we can get that 7-win mark to get us close to the playoffs in 2021.
Yeah.
There was a mock draft. I saw us getting Jamar Chase at LSU. You gotta have a high draft pick to get Jamar Chase from the wide receiver. If you guys don't know who that is, you have to get a very high pick, at least top 5, I would say, or even top 10. And if we go 6-10, that's a top 10 pick. So that wouldn't be bad if we end up with Jamar Chase. But then again, that shows that we don't believe in our receivers. If Calvin Harmon shows up and Steve Sims shows up and Terry McLaurin shows up, I don't think we need to draft another receiver until the later rounds.
Yeah, definitely. I think our priorities next year, I mean, obviously it's super early, but I think in the first round it would be nice to go after a tackle or a cornerback. If there's some crazy elite tight end prospect, then maybe. But I think cornerback and tackle would be really nice to get in the draft, especially if we don't go after Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Peterson, or Richard Sherman in free agency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't go with Richard Sherman. I think he's old, and he got burnt up last year by Haskins. But yeah, like you said, yeah, I agree, Pedro. Corner, yeah, if we can get a corner in the first round next year, that would be awesome. Tight end. I know George Kittle's a free agent, but I don't think he's going to be a free. I think they're going to re-sign him, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Rico Project had a good question. What game are you guys excited for the most next season?
Oh yeah, okay. So the game I'm most excited about, the obvious one is Thanksgiving on the against the Cowboys, but I'm kind of scared for that game too because if we lose, that's going to ruin my Thanksgiving. But my game I'm most excited for, probably besides that one, is against the Giants. I just want to see. I really want to see Haskins prove all those Giants fans on Twitter wrong, and I want to see Chase Young force like 3 fumbles against Danny Fumbles. You know, So, but yeah, Giants probably against the Giants. I think we're gonna split against the Giants. They're not terrible. I think they're gonna win one game. So yeah, or we're gonna win one game against them.
Yeah, definitely for sure. The game that I'm most excited for is obviously the Cowboys games every year, but and also the Giants games. But really my most exciting game is against the Ravens. Against the Ravens, I think that's early in the season, week 4. I'm going to that game most likely. So week 4, man. That's just gonna set the tone for the season. Obviously, the first 3 weeks, we're gonna see how that plans out. If we're 3-0, 2-1. It could be moved to a primetime game. Pause. Most likely, it's going to be if we're 3-0, 2-1. It's going to move to a primetime game. So I'm most excited for that. I think if we could, get after Lamar Jackson. Chase Young said he wants to sack him since he's the most, elite quarterback in the NFL. And I know we got the Patrick Mahomes, but I'm talking about as far as dual threat goes. He wants to sack him. So I think if we can do that, man, and we're good, we're 3-0, 2-1. That stadium's going to be rocking, man. And if he gets a strip sack fumble on Chase Young or Lamar Jackson, rather, I could just see FedEx going crazy. So that's the game I'm most excited for, because if we win that game, that's like it's like we going to the playoffs. It's secure that we're going to the playoffs. We just took out the best team in all of football last year. Although they didn't win a Super Bowl, I think they were the most dominant team last year, outside of the Chiefs, obviously.
Oh yeah. And shout out to Kenny Man Fitness. He sent me a donation on Cash App. If you guys can't donate on here, you can donate it on Cash App or PayPal. That's below in the description. So shout out to my man Kenny Man Fitness. He actually has a YouTube channel as well, which is a fitness channel. He's a big Redskins fan. So if you're trying to get in shape during the quarantine, you can't make it out to the gym because the gyms are closed, check my guy out. He does all the home workouts. Big plug for him. I guess last question. I'll say this is the last question. Then we're gonna hang it up. Are you guys disappointed? Let me see. There's 2 questions. What do you guys think about Isaiah Wright? Somebody talked about Isaiah Wright. Let me see who said it. I can't find. It was Andrew Oliveros, my guy Andrew. He said, "What do you guys think about Isaiah Wright? What do you guys think about him? Do you think he's going to make the team? And how do you guys feel about no primetime games?"
I'll take this one first. Isaiah Wright already made a video on that. I think that he's really, like I told you guys before. I even watched him. I was like, this guy's no way he's making a roster. But I looked at his highlights. I'm like, dude, this dude is nasty, man. I think he really could make his mark in the kick return games. He has the dreads like Brandon Banks. I know you guys remember Brandon Banks. So I think he really can make his mark in the special teams, then move on to the wide receiver. Just how I think Steven Sims did somewhat last year. But I think making your mark in the special teams, balling out in the preseason, because we know Steve Sims, Terry McLaurin, Kelvin Harmon, they're not really going to be playing that much in the preseason. They're going to play some, but not that much, because we know they already going to have their spots. But ball out in the preseason. You, Cam Sims, all you guys ball out in the preseason. You're going to have your spot. But I'm more excited to see him in the special teams. Give Dwayne Haskins a break sometimes by getting a kick return. Setting him up in good field position, probably in 35, 40-yard line. So I think this guy's going to be nasty. And having no primetime games, I'm happy with that. We don't need them. We don't need the attention. We don't need it until we earn it. So with no primetime games, I don't care. Don't really affect me. I mean, I'm in the D.C. area, so I'm going to be able to watch my boys regardless. So no primetime games is good for us next year, hopefully. But if we don't, who cares? Honestly, who cares? I mean, and I think we do have one. I know that it's not at night, but I mean, the Cowboys is always like a primetime game. The whole world will be watching. So, I mean, I guess it's a primetime game. But then again, I guess it's not. So.
Yeah, I agree. When I was doing the research for undrafted free agents, when we did that for a video, I think that I was like, Isaiah Wright's the guy that I think is going to make the team out of these guys. Besides, obviously, Thaddeus Moss, he's definitely going to make the team. But I think Isaiah Wright, on a conference or a Zoom call, the special teams coordinator mentioned him a ton. So I think he's going to be able to do some punt returns, maybe even kick returns, and maybe even be a gunner on special teams. I think he's going to be solid. I think he's going to make the team, as he might play a little bit at wide receiver. He doesn't have the best hands, but he's pretty explosive when he does get the ball. So I'm excited to see what he does in training camp. We'll see how he does. And then about the primetime games, I mean, I don't really care that much. I mean, I like the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games better. And yeah, it doesn't put all the attention on us. We're not good on primetime games. And then the only thing I'm upset about is that the Giants got 4 primetime games and we got none. But I mean, besides that, I really don't care. I think we don't play good on prime time, so let us play at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that helps us out the more. You know, we know Danny fumbles don't thrive on prime time. I mean, look at the game last year. I forgot who was it against, but
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah, he really, you know, and the Patriots didn't even have that best of a D line, and hey, let them go out there 4 primetime games. That's 4 losses for us. So I mean, hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess last question. Do you guys care about the uniforms? You think we should bring that back, the white on white uniforms? Or have you guys seen the Instagram jerseys? I think DC Sports X Instagram had a nice uniform of Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin was in a cool uniform. What do you guys think about the new uniforms? Do you think we should change the uniforms a little bit, just keep the same, or try to bring back the white on white, burgundy and burgundy?
Yeah, I mean, I love the uniforms, the old ones. Of course, I would love to switch it up, you know, be swaggy. But my mom said, my parents always say, just because you look good don't mean you play good. You look good, you play good. So I'm all for bringing out the old fresh uniform. So you look good, you play good. Hopefully Dwayne can play good in the all yellows, maybe. Oh, we still yet to wear the all yellows. It seems like every time, you know, the color rush thing was going on, every time we got a Thursday night game, it was always on the road. So we never got a chance to wear that. I'm all for it. But if not, who cares, man? I just want to see them play and play good. You know, I did see the edits. I seen the all gray with Terry McLaurin. It looked fire. All of the ones they put together look fire. So I'm all for it. But if it doesn't change, oh well.
Yeah, I agree. We really haven't had any really good or like kind of like we haven't done the color rush, or we haven't really used the alternate uniforms a lot. And I heard on Twitter from, I can't remember who was a beat reporter, but he was talking about that had a lot to do with Bruce Allen. He didn't like to do that stuff, so we'll see about it this year. I really like the white on white's good. All red on burgundy is good too, or not red. Red on gold is good too. But like Juan said, just because you look good doesn't mean you're gonna play good. But Jack Del Rio did acknowledge it on Twitter about Week 1 against Philly, all white. So that would be nice. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I just want to see us win. You know, white on white would be cool. The color rush would be interesting. It would be ugly, but it would be interesting. So last question, Abu Ho. That's my guy. He's been donating all night. That's my guy right there. Shout out to Abu Ho. He's a channel member. He says, "What do you think on Zach Ertz on Redskins?"
No, because we would have to give up something huge for Zach Ertz. He's obviously top 3, if not the best tight end in all of football. But we have to give up so much stuff. I mean, I even seen a report of this all season about how Philly and the Falcons were talking about trading Julio Jones for Zach Ertz. So I mean, in order to get Zach Ertz, we would have to give up so much stuff. For the best tight end, I think he's obviously the best because I mean, I know he kills us on a daily basis. And he's a division foe. But just me being a football fan, I think he's the most complete and most experienced one. And I think I would love to have him, of course, but I think we just have to give up too much. And I don't think we're in that place to where we can do something like that.
Yeah, I would love Zach Ertz. I don't think he's the top tight end, but I think it's Kelsey and Kittle. But yeah, I think Ertz is an absolute beast. And like you said, it would take. I have no idea when his contract comes up, and if we were to get him in free agency, it would be a crazy amount of money. And if we wanted to get him in a trade, it would be a lot too. So I agree with you. It would be nice, but it's not realistic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't see the Eagles letting him walk. I know they got to make a decision between Goddard and Zach Ertz, but yeah, that's just not gonna happen. I highly doubt that happens at all. But shout out to 1,000 subs with no videos challenge. Everybody, make sure you guys sub him up so you can help out his challenge. I'm gonna sub to him real quick. He's trying to get 1,000 subs with 0 videos. We'll see if we can get that. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys sub to man's Juan Gotti and Pedro Schmith. They're both up and coming, man. They have shot up since the draft. A lot of subscribers. They've gotten a lot of subscribers. And thank you guys for coming out tonight.
All right, well, guys.
Yep, thank you. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.